What is up, guys? This is Q&A, the show where I answer your questions from Twitter and YouTube and probably Instagram later on. Please follow all of those accounts. Cheap plug. But this week we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to take just a little bit less questions, and we're going to talk about something that I have been dying to talk about ever since this news hit the wire, and that is Mike Daniels formerly of the Green Bay Packers, defensive tackle, is now a free agent. Now, Mike Daniels, for those of you who don't know, he stands 6 foot tall. He is 300 pounds, and for years he was a Pro Bowl caliber, top 100 level defensive tackle. And why I am so excited and why I am so gun-ho about what I'm about to say here is because Mike Daniels is somebody who is especially good at stopping the run. And those of you who watched any Browns games, whether you're a fan or whether you're not a fan, knows that the one Achilles heel that this team has, as much talent as they had last year, as much speed on the edges with Myles Garrett and Agba at the time they had last year, they just could not stop the run up the middle. I think a lot of that was because you had to play Larry Ogunjobi, who is not a traditional run-stopping defensive tackle in a lot of obvious run situations. That gives you somebody you can obviously rotate in on obvious rundowns, and that gives you somebody who is almost a perfect fit for the role that you need him. I think Mike Daniels is a more urgent get than Gerald McCoy. I'm not saying he's a better player, but he's a better fit than Gerald McCoy, because Gerald McCoy and Larry Ogunjobi play similar games. They are both kind of pass rush first interior linemen. When it comes to what Mike Daniels is, he is exactly what the Browns needed last year and exactly what the Browns are going to need this year. I would feel a lot more comfortable in goal line situations if you had Sheldon Richardson right next to a guy like Mike Daniels and then everybody else on this team. Mike Daniels is somebody that the Browns urgently need to sign. I'm going to make this a urgent signing. The Browns need to sign Mike Daniels, and they don't need to play around. I don't think they need to get cute with the contract. Get him on a short-term deal, 1 or 2 years. All of your best players are on rookie deals for the next 3-4 years anyway, so it doesn't matter what the cap situation is. Get that deal done. Get Mike Daniels in here, and that would be huge, huge for this defense to have that kind of run-stopping presence on your defensive line. And now, I know a lot of people said his play declined. Even at his declined rate, he would still be an excellent addition to this Browns defensive line. Don't kid yourself. He just went from somebody who was the best player on the Green Bay Packers defense to being a guy who is the second best player on the Green Bay Packers defense. And that would be great for the Browns if the second best player on the NFL team's defense is a guy they rotate in on rundowns. Okay, so the Browns need to get Mike Daniels. And if you're not aware of Mike Daniels, because I know he's not a household name, just Google Mike Daniels, just YouTube Mike Daniels, just watch his NFL 100 and watch people talk about him, and you'll get a sense of why the Browns absolutely need to lock this man up. Mike Daniels is most certainly a piece that the Browns are going to need this year, and I pray that John Dorsey and the front office see that too, like I do, and sign him as soon as possible, because Mike Daniels is a absolute need and a absolute perfect find for this Browns team if they can grab him. So John Dorsey, don't let me down. Bring Mike Daniels to town. That's the rant for Mike Daniels. We're going to jump into your questions here, and we're first going to start with the questions from Twitter. And again, if you want to ask me questions for this show or just ask me questions in general during the week, please follow me on Twitter at QnC, Quen_C, where you can ask questions that can not only be included on the show, but also just ask questions that will get answered if you have any questions you want to talk about. There's a great community on that Twitter page. We're growing and growing by every minute. So follow me on Twitter, and if you want to get some extra content, because I am, just a little bit of a reminder, going to be traveling this week to Ravens camp. If you want extra content from that trip, or just for this channel in general, if you would like extra content and my immediate reactions to things, then please follow me on Instagram as well, and that is at worst_take on Instagram. So again, check those out. Links are going to be in the description. Follow me there. But without further ado, let's get into the first question, which is from user at MJ Tingles, who says, do you think Austin Corbett will improve during camp, or will he stay below average? Oh, I kind of have had a bad feeling about Austin Corbett for a while. I thought that the Browns really wanted him to take that guard spot, or at least the center spot so they could pay less money to Kevin Zeitler or get him out of town to save some money on the cap. The fact that they could not afford to do that and had to wait till his second year to try to give him a spot. And now, as he's competing for the spot, he hasn't really taken hold of this competition. And he's not really the main name you hear of with this competition. Not hearing any great things out of Austin Corbett. The coaches are telling me everything great about everybody else he's competing with. That means that they definitely don't think they're seeing what they need to see out of Austin Corbett, and that is extremely concerning. So I am worried about Austin Corbett. I don't know if he's going to develop in time, and I don't know if he's even going to be the starter for this team at right guard, which is something that the Browns really can't afford to miss on because offensive line depth is just already short as it is. You really, really need Austin Corbett to step up, but I'm not too confident that he is. Now, when pads get on, maybe it's a different story, and he's more of a pads guy. But as of right now, looks a little dicey for Austin Corbett. The next question is from user @HighRock with the Roman numeral, that's a 6. And he says, how excited is OBJ to finally be put on offense? And he includes a funny little picture of an NFL Network headline that says, Browns plan to use OBJ in their offense, which is just hilarious. And I thought I'd bring that to your attention because I thought Odell Beckham was playing strong safety. So yeah, I think he's pretty excited to make the move to wide receiver. I heard good things out of camp, so he might be a good wide receiver in this league. Who knows? This Odell Beckham guy might be decent. The next question is from Kyle Liu, who says, who do you think will have the best wide receiver core in the league? As much as I want to say the Browns, I can't not say Kansas City until the Browns prove them wrong. Because Kansas City has done historic things with their passing offense behind the arm of Patrick Mahomes and behind the talent of guys like Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, and so much so that you kind of forget that Sammy Watkins, who was one of the most hyped wide receivers, ironically, in the draft that Odell Beckham was selected, of all time that year he got drafted. He's quietly there as a second option for Kansas City, which is pretty good. So I would say I'm going to go with Kansas City until somebody dethrones them during the season, but that's what I got to go with right now. The next question is from the Catster, who says, who is one player in the NFL you cannot wait to see this season? All right, this may make some of my fellow Browns fans a little bit upset with me, but the one guy I really cannot wait to see is Lamar Jackson. I think he is one of the most fascinating players in the NFL because I don't think the NFL since Michael Vick has seen a guy who is just that freakish of an athlete as a runner. Pair Lamar Jackson to a guy like Cam Newton, but the Cam Newton is an athletic beast because he's so big and he's fast for how big he is. Lamar Jackson is just an athletic beast because of what he can do on the field and how quick he is. So when you bring that into playing quarterback in the NFL and you see how much success he was able to bring the Ravens to after they were below average with Joe Flacco, just with his natural running ability and really with limited pocket ability, it's really fascinating to see how he'll develop as a passer in this league and if he will continue to develop as a passer and if he even needs to, because I'm really interested to see if he could just come out and if he's not even that much better of a passer, will he still have a good year? There's just a lot of fascinating things to watch with Lamar Jackson, and that is the most important quarterback for a Browns fan to watch is Lamar Jackson, because that is going to dictate who the Browns are really going to be competing with for a number of years. If you think that the Browns are going to continue on a good path, the Ravens have the next big thing at quarterback or the next big young thing at quarterback. So I would say Lamar Jackson's the guy that I cannot wait to see. I can't wait to see how he develops, and I'm really excited this weekend to go to Ravens camp to see how he looks in person as a quarterback. So yeah, I would say Lamar Jackson. The next question is from Mariah Mays, who says, how do you think Garrett Gilbert will command Cleveland's second team, and will he look good in Cleveland's system? You got to love Browns fans, man. We got Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and this guy hits me with a Garrett Gilbert question. That's the Browns, man. You can't get any better than that, right? For those of you who might be unaware of who Garrett Gilbert is, he was a pretty good quarterback for the Orlando Apollos in the AAF. Put up big numbers, and he is contending to be the Browns' second string quarterback behind Drew Stanton. I think he's going to have a good shot at getting that second string job because his play style just fits the offense a little bit better. So I think this system is a fit. And I think if something happens to Baker, he's a guy who could come in there for maybe a game and continue to keep it rolling. But I don't know past that. But we'll see. But I like Garrett Gilbert as a second or third string quarterback. I don't think he's the worst option to have there. And I certainly like him more than the idea of throwing Drew Stanton in there. I think Drew Stanton's just a coach at this point. But yeah, Garrett Gilbert, I think he can do good with the second team. And I think he'll impress during the preseason. The next question is from Giants Nation, who's getting cocky. He's getting real cocky right here, man. And he asks, what's up? Your favorite sub back against. This is what I mean about him getting cocky. Do you think my Giants should start Eli or put Daniel Jones out there if he has a good camp / preseason? I think that with, I'm going to correct these names because you're so disrespectful to the rest of the NFC East. I think that with the Cowboys, money problems, and the Eagles with their Carson Wentz injury history, and Washington, well, they're Washington. Yeah, I get you on that. The NFC East is open, but not with Eli as a starter. What do you think the Giants should do or not do? Oh, man, the Giants are in a rough place, too. I guess that whole division is kind of in a rough place. With Washington no longer having Alex Smith due to that horrific injury, and now they're leaning on Dwayne Haskins. The Eagles, their injury problems, as you mentioned. And the Cowboys, they should probably win this division, but, the Cowboys, you can't really trust the Cowboys from what I've learned. I would say the reason why it's a tough question to answer is because when it comes to benching Eli, it's more than just what's on the field. There's a lot of politics that go into that due to what he means to that franchise and what the Manning name means to the league. And they tried this before when they benched him for Geno Smith. And I don't think you get to dip back into that well if you're the Giants. I don't think you get to bench Eli again. So I think they're pretty committed. Dave Gettleman seems pretty stubborn on the subject. I think they're just going to roll Eli out there, whether it's better for the team or not, whether Daniel Jones looks good or not, in my opinion. I think they probably should put the young guy in. I think it's better for rookie quarterbacks to just play their first year. That's my opinion. But I think what the Giants are going to do, they're just going to roll Eli out there regardless. I think they kind of just feel like they owe it to him, and I think Dave Gettleman is going to do that. So that is what I predict happens there for the New York Giants Nation. That is it for this week's Q&A. Thank you guys for watching. And let me know in the comment section down below, do you think that the Browns should prioritize signing Mike Daniels? Do you think they should do whatever it takes to secure him and get him in a Cleveland Browns uniform because of his fit with this defense and because he is good at the one thing that the Browns really needed to improve at? Or do you think that the Browns should pass on him? They already got enough on their defensive line. They don't need to add another body. That would be overkill. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ding that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload. And you're going to want to be notified when I upload because this month, the end of July, and the whole month of August is going to be absolutely crazy. I'm going to be dropping videos like crazy, like a madman. You're going to want to be notified. There's going to be a lot of great content. You're going to want to follow all of it. So hit that notification bell. And if you have a buck or two to spare, and if you want to be eligible to join the Worst Take Fantasy Football League, donate a buck or two a month on the Patreon, message me, let me know you're interested. I'll write your name down and you will be added to the league. Just as long as you're a Patreon member, this is exclusive for Patreon members. So if you want to play fantasy football with me, this guy, sign up for the Patreon. But that is it for this week's Q&A. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day and have a good night.